And we are live. What's going on, YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey Live. And we are back for game two of a couple of interesting series going on around the National Hockey League. A lot has happened here tonight. So we'll cover some of the games in the East, preview some of the games going on tonight on the West Coast, a couple of pretty big matchups, and recapping last night's games, the first round of game twos from yesterday. What's going on, Luis? Welcome to the chat. Welcome, Surreal, Urban. Nice seeing you guys here. What's going on, guys? I apologize for making you guys wait, but obviously we've had some technical difficulties trying to get here. Yeah, I apologize, Urban. So our featured game, I mean, listen, since the last time we talked, Toronto has flipped the switch against Tampa. They're currently in the second intermission after a 7-3 blowout for the Maple Leafs at home, sending the fans out of the building pretty much halfway through the third period, if not before that. Now tonight, they have a 6-1 lead going into the third period, a complete flipping of the switch for the Maple Leafs. And it's all the big guys scoring goals for the Leafs tonight. Started off by John Tavares, Mitch Marner, William Nylander. John Tavares got 2 goals, Zach Aston Reese. So Marner and Tavares each getting a pair of goals alongside Zach Aston Reese and Ian Cole for the Lightning. So the Lightning's big boys have not shown up yet tonight, and a pretty tough game for Andrei Vasilevsky. In terms of the other game that's already on, it's 2-1 Rangers right now. They've scored 2 goals. They were down 1-0 early, a power play goal by the Devils. But that is it. And now the Rangers have now scored 2 goals to kind of get things back in their favor. A couple of interesting roster movements. We saw the Maple Leafs, obviously without Michael Bunting. So we saw some lineup changes there. For Tampa, the big one is obviously Victor Hedman, who did not play for game 2, which is obviously a very concerning thing. For this team, you're looking at a situation where Hedman being out and Chernak, those are 2 very big pieces of the puzzle for the Lightning, no longer on the blue line. And then also, like I said, looking at last night, shout out to Luis. Honestly, Luis, man, the Panthers really proving a lot of people wrong. Listen, everybody said I was crazy for saying the Panthers were gonna somehow take this to 6 or 7 games. I'm looking pretty good right now. I think that the Panthers were getting a little bit disrespected. There's a lot of veterans on this team. Sam Bennett coming back to the lineup was huge for them last night, and Alex Lyon played a really good game. Really frustrated the Boston Bruins, which doesn't really happen that often. And obviously for the Maple Leafs, they went back with Ilya Samsonov. He's played really well tonight. And a couple of lineup changes. Liljegren still hasn't gotten into the lineup. I'm still a little bit surprised by that. But overall, you got to like what you've seen so far from the Maple Leafs. Sheldon Nyes, Matthew Nyes. I always say that. Matthew Nyes playing in his first NHL game in the playoffs. So good stuff there. Welcome to the chat, Zach. I'm loving how my Leafs are playing. You should. They kind of deserve it after the other night. Big game for the Leafs. And let me know, guys, how is the audio? Is the audio good? Let me know down below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. That really helps us out a lot here at Goal Line Hockey. That said, Carolina picks up a 2-0 lead over the Islanders. I got to be honest. I think Sorokin really didn't play well last night. Thank you guys so much. Sorokin was not good for the Islanders. They lose 4-3 in overtime. But listen, you can't tell me that the Hurricanes played a perfect game with no penalties. Carolina had 6 power plays. The Islanders had 0. And it was kind of interesting how the last 2 games, the Hurricane fans have been chanting the refs, you suck, throughout points of both of those games. But again, the power play advantage is pretty clear through the first 2 games. So whatever. It is what it is, but that's the kind of stuff, not a huge fan of that. What else happened? What else do we need to get to? Oh, yeah, so they're getting ready for game 2 in Colorado. Huge game. Huge game for the Avalanche. They're already down 1-0 in this series. Kind of shockingly, I think everybody's a little surprised with how game one went, but Colorado didn't play their best game by any stretch. And Philip Grubauer looking to kind of prove to his former team that maybe he's better than they gave him credit. He kind of got thrown out the door there in Colorado. And I think there is that sense that he kind of wants to prove them wrong for they made a mistake letting him go to Seattle. So again, a lot of questions, not a ton of answers yet because we're only going into game two, but it's definitely an interesting storyline building up in the Avalanche Kraken series that I don't think a lot of us were really expecting. Zach said, "Who's your favorite player on the Islanders?" That's a hard question. I got to be honest. In terms of staying with the team and things, he's not a good finisher. He's not a ton of goals in the 2 games so far. Chris Kreider, 4 goals. It's lagging bad. It's lagging bad. This like the lag is really frustrating. I tried getting the extender, the plug-in, and it really